Hi, I'm Rich Lure with Airstream Life magazine and the Airstream Life store. Today I'm going to give you a tip on 9 places that you should lubricate your Airstream. You probably didn't know it needs a little bit of lubrication, but it does in several places. It's a very easy thing to do. You don't need any special tools. All you need is a little bit of paper towel or a rag, some silicone spray, which you can pick up in any auto parts store or hardware store. It's very easy to find. Some Boeshield T9, which we sell in the Airstream Life store for special places, and optionally a pair of rubber gloves. And that's just because silicone spray is a little stinky and it's hard to wash off your hands. So if you want to keep your hands clean, you can wear some gloves. That's it. Let's go outside and I'll show you the first place we need to put some lube. Our first stop is the awning. Now, whether you have a manual or a powered zippy awning, you need to lubricate this slide. Extend the awning all the way so that the slide is fully exposed. Take your silicone spray, spray all 4 sides of the slide, and then wipe off any excess. That's all. If you have a powered zippy awning, there is one exception to what I said before. You'll need one more type of lubrication, white lithium grease. It goes in this tiny hole right here, just a little bit to lubricate the gear that's inside. There's one hole on each of the power arms. Our next stop is the door hinges. You know how sometimes you open the door and they make a really horrible squeaking noise? Easy to fix with a little bit of the Boeshield. Boeshield T9 is a great lubricant. It doesn't leave a mess. It leaves a waxy film on the part you lubricated that lasts for a long time. So this is why I prefer it for things like door hinges. You'll want to just put a little bit at the top of the door hinge here and here and let it run down through the hinge. Take the door, just open it a few times, work it back and forth after you've put the lube in there to make sure that it stops squeaking and the lube is dripped down and lubricated the entire hinge. Our next stop is the locks. Now, there's a lot of debate about the proper lubricant to use on a lock. Some people prefer oil, light machine oil. Some people prefer graphite. Some people like graphited oil. I like the Boeshield personally. The easiest way to lubricate it is just to put a drop of lube. I use the Boeshield on the key and then put the key in the lock and work it in and out a few times. If it seems dry when you take it out or it looks dirty, maybe lubricate it a second time and try again. When you're done, the key should move in and out very smoothly and turn without any binding or hesitation. That's all there is to it. Okay, now we're down to the entry step. This entry step has been driving me crazy since I got the Airstream new. It drives Tothy crazy because you can't get it open sometimes or it won't latch into position. The problem is it just needs some lube. There's lube points here at the hinge, and also there's some points underneath inside here where you can see where it rotates. The solution is, again, the Boeshield. Pop a couple of drops right in the lube points, in the hinges, on both sides. And then, again, as you did with the door, just work it a few times. Make sure that the lubrication is fully distributed. Notice how it's nice and quiet. There's no squeaking or noise. That's what we want out of our entry step. Next up is the window seals. The window seals, you may have noticed, tend to stick if you've had the windows closed for a while, particularly in warm weather. It's an easy fix. You just need to lubricate the window seals. Again, start with your silicone spray. Spray it on a rag. Get the rag nice and wet with plenty of silicone spray. Then wipe the seal with the silicone spray. This is much better than trying to spray it directly because you won't have overspray everywhere. Just get that seal nice and lubricated with silicone spray and it won't stick next time. Now here's a really good use for the Boeshield T9, window latches. These latches can get a little hard to work for a while, but with the T9 you just put a drop in, open the latch about halfway and it exposes the part that rubs. Put in just a drop, no more, just a drop of Boeshield and work it a little bit and make sure things are nice and smooth. That'll take care of those window latches for a long time. Okay, now it's time to get down on the ground. This is why I always travel with a beach towel in my Airstream, because the ground is inevitably covered with sharp rocks. So put your beach towel down on the ground and take a look at the underside of the stabilizer jacks. You want to run the jack all the way down to the ground, which is going to expose a long worm gear, big long gear that runs through there. That's where your silicone spray comes in there. Get underneath and spray the length of that gear. Don't worry about putting on too much. You really can't put too much silicone spray in. Keep in mind, the silicone spray is going to drip down, so don't get directly underneath it or even close to it because you're going to get a face full of silicone spray if you do that. But otherwise, just lubricate the gear, run the jack up and down a couple of times, and you're good. Okay, at the front of the Airstream, we've got 2 places that you can lube. First is the Hitch Coupler. If you've got a 2020 or later Airstream, it says Demco on it, and it's this big black plastic latch. Open it up, spray a little lube on the working parts. You can even spray some in these side holes where they say that you should put a locking pin. The locking pin isn't going to do much, by the way, as a safety thing, but it makes a great place to spray silicone spray. The other place is the hitch ball coupler itself, this round coupler. That's where the hitch ball goes in. You want to put a heavy coating of grease in there. Now, I know I said most of the time you only need silicone spray and Boeshield. This is one of those exceptions. Nothing but heavy grease should be used on the hitch ball, or hitch ball lube specifically made for the purpose. Well, that's it. You've successfully lubricated 9 different places on your Airstream, and the Airstream is probably a lot quieter and easier to use as a result. And it's not that hard. The job takes maybe 30 minutes the first time you do it, probably 15 or 20 minutes after you've gotten some practice. So get together your lubes, your paper towel, gloves, etc., and go out there and make your Airstream a little bit better. And don't forget your beach towel.